and welcome to Chapter 2 Club's Smart Woman's Guide to Breakups and Everything After. Today I'm here with licensed marriage and family therapist Jen Loft, and we're going to be talking about always disagreeing with your ex. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. So I work with a lot of families, and I have yet to encounter a family, whether they're living together or separated, that agrees on everything around parenting.
Yeah.
It's really hard. We come from such different experiences and backgrounds that it makes sense that we would have different ideas around parenting. And I notice that when parents are living in the same home, it makes sense, right? That they're trying to kind of compromise and come together and have like a united message that they're presenting with their kids around rules and different things like that.
Right.
Now we can assume that since they're no longer together in these circumstances, that their differences may have been greater.
Yeah.
And now they also have all these other issues that they're working through that can make finding agreement even more challenging.
Yeah.
But what I notice is that many families they try to maintain that same goal they had when they were living together of agreeing on everything.
Right.
But unfortunately, it seems that if that's your goal and you're really trying to kind of convince the other person to see the light of your brilliance, that what can actually happen is that people can move farther away and polarize even more, and then we're sort of arguing about arguing.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that even as a couple that's together, having disagreements and then having it completely even more amplified when they're apart. So
right.
That's a tough topic.
Yes, exactly. So it would be one thing for us to sit here and say, okay, well, these two parents are co-parenting and they don't agree, so they should compromise.
Right.
And I agree with that. It's true. However, I think what can make it easier and maybe give us a little bit of a why of how we want to compromise or why we would want to compromise is really helpful, because especially if you're talking about compromise around parenting, it's probably around some value that you hold pretty strongly.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of examples on my own, but we've definitely had some viewers write in about some questions and concerns that they've had for themselves. So one of our viewers had written about the fact that she is extremely health conscious and wants to only eat clean. She's, I think, even a vegetarian, and her ex is a total junk food eater, and she is super concerned about what he's feeding the kids when they're over there, and she is very adamant about keeping a healthy diet for them when they're at her place. And so she's never going to agree with him on that, so what should she do?
That is such a great example, and he's never going to agree with her either.
Right. And
adopt this vegetarian, super clean lifestyle.
Yeah.
And my guess is the more she pushes it to him, probably the more he backs away and
I'm guessing
goes
so
for the
too.
burgers.
Right, exactly.
So this is such a great example because, again, here we're talking about how are we going to compromise and kind of come together in a place. So our why is, instead of holding kind of highest the value that the kids eat this healthy diet, our sort of overarching, even higher value is that this co-parenting relationship is healthy and collaborative.
Yeah.
So the more we argue kind of around control on this one issue, that's deteriorating that parenting relationship further.
Yeah.
So the idea is really that, yes, healthy food is healthy, but healthy food is perhaps secondary to this healthy co-parenting relationship. So if we can find a way to compromise, we can strengthen this parenting relationship, just kind of like kale.
Yeah. So how should she go about that if she has a hard time letting go of,
Yeah, well, it makes sense that she would have a hard time letting go. I'm picturing she could probably tell us and give us all kinds of great information on why these dietary choices are important and healthier and better and everything like that. So what we're going to need her to do is kind of take that broader value of the co-parenting relationship being kind of overarchingly more important, if you will.
Yeah, so focusing on the kids' well-being and the co-parent relationship as opposed to the control of having to make the kids eat vegetarian.
Right. So if she can kind of make that shift, then I think she can come to her ex and say something more along the lines like, hey, I know you love the kids and care about them and care about their health and well-being and want to see them grow up to be healthy, and that you want them to eat regular meals and get what they need.
Yeah.
And chances are that is how her ex feels about it. Their perspective is just a little bit different. So she's kind of expanding her view of what's reasonable.
Right.
And she's also talking to him in a way that's validating that he cares about the kids too.
Yeah.
So he's less likely to respond in a polarizing and defensive way.
Right.
By her saying that to her ex, she's also kind of saying it to herself, like reminding herself that he's going to feed the kids and that they're going to get what they need and they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely see that, just thinking above and beyond of what, your immediate goal is for yourself and what you want for the kids, but the overarching theme of, they're eating and they're going to be okay. Yeah.
Right. So then the benefits, if she's able to do that, is they can probably have a more collaborative relationship around this. He's less likely to be feeding the kids in a way that's bugging her on purpose. So maybe they can actually step together a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. That's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I hope this has been helpful for all of you viewers out there too. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.